Hi guys, this is Chandrasekhar Reddy. Here I am going to show how to install the TeamCity Continuous Integration tool into your Linux remote operating system. So for that, first of all, we need to download the TeamCity from your internet. So for that, media site jetbrains.com. Just enter the JetBrains. So in the home page, just scroll down your page. Then here you will get TeamCity. Click on the more button to get the download option for the TeamCity. So again, just scroll down your page. Here you will get the Get TeamCity 8 now. So this is the version. Click on it. Then again it will ask for the download for which flavor you are using. So if it is a Windows, then download the Windows section. If it is a Mac or Linux. So here in this section we are going to discuss about installing the TeamCity in Linux operating system. So for that I am going to select the Linux operating system and then click on the Get TeamCity. Right. Then it will begins the downloading. So basically I am using the IDM to download the content from the internet. So I am going to cancel this one because already I have a downloaded section, downloaded file on my desktop. This is a file, and if you want to transfer the file from Windows to Linux operating system, you need a Linux remote server. Here I am using my Linux operating system in VirtualBox. First of all, if I want to connect this remote server, Linux server, I need to know the IP address of this server. Here I got the IP address 192.168.89.128. This is the remote Linux server I am using in the VMware. Now I want to transfer the file from Windows to Linux operating system. For that I am going to use WinSCP tool. So Windows to it is used to copy the files from remote Linux server to Windows and Windows to Linux. Here you can transfer the files from in the three modes: SFTP Secure File Transfer Protocol, SCP Secure Copying, and FTP File Transfer Protocol. In these three, the SCP is the most effective secure way. And if you want to, what is the host name? Host name must be in the IP address. Or you can directly, if you configure the host name and domain name, you can use it. Till now I didn't set that one. And directly I am going to use IP address of that remote Linux server. Username and password. Click on the login button to. It will open the Explorer by using WinSCP. Here the left side section belongs to Windows operating system and right one belongs to Linux operating system. In the Linux operating system, by default we have given the root is the username and it will open the user home directory, means root user home directory, and as well as here by default my documents will be open, but my file is available on the desktop and I am navigating to desktop right now. Here I got the file. Now you need to transfer this file. For transferring a file, just click and hold your mouse button and just drag and drop on the right side section. Now it will copy the file from Windows to Linux operating system. It is about 530 MB like that. So it will take 1 to 2 minutes transfer the file. For that I am pausing my video. Now file was transferred to the Linux operating system. You will get that file in the below if you scroll down the window. Okay. Now I am closing the WinSCP tool. I am going to connect my remote server using the SSH client tool PuTTY. Here I am going to use the IP address of the remote Linux server. Already I have a saved one. So for that I am clicking on that, click load button, then open. So it will ask for the username, root, then password. Now use the ls command to list out the home directory files and directories. Here you got the file what we have transferred from the Windows right now. So I need to extract the tar zip file. For that I am using tar zxvf command, TeamCity. Now it will take a second. Now it was extracted. Now use the ls command. Here I got the directory. So this is the home directory, right? You can start your TeamCity server from here itself, but this is not the good one. So for that we need to move this directory to somewhere else. I am going to keep it an OPT directory. Just use the list command, then you need to navigate OPT, then use the ls command. Here I got the TeamCity, right? You just to navigate into TeamCity, then here you will got a some another subdirectories in the TeamCity directory. So web apps. Now here you got the list of folder. So whatever the startup script and shutdown script will be resides in the bin directory. Now I am navigate into the bin, right? Use the ls command. So these are the files resides in bin directory. Here we are able to find startup and shutdown scripts, and as well as TeamCity server.sh. So this is the actual script used to start the TeamCity server. First of all, actually I am going to tell you one thing here. Actually the TeamCity is a web application, right? So if you want to run the web application, you need to have the web server. So here TeamCity people will give by defaultly given the Tomcat server with the TeamCity itself, and as well as if you want to run a web server, Tomcat web server, you need to have the Java or JRE, Java runtime environment. So if you want to check whether your system is having the Java or not, by using the Java C command and as well as Java command. So Java C is going to check whether Java JDK existed or not, and Java command is used to check whether JRE is working or not. Now both are working, right? So now we are able to you can use directly echo $Java home. So if it is okay, already the path is configured for the JDK, and in the Java automatically there will be a folders or directories existed with the JDK and as well as JRE, right? So automatically it will be used JRE by defaultly, and as well as if you want to check other, go JRE home. So there is no variable for the JRE home, means automatically if you set the Java home, by defaultly JRE will be able to access from here itself, from the Java section, right? Now we need not to worry about that because already Java and Java C commands are working. Now we need to start the server, Tomcat server. So that is not enough, but we need to directly start with the TeamCity server. So for that I am going to execute my script TeamCity server.sh. So if you start this server script, automatically it will start the TeamCity server. But we need to provide the sub option. If you enter plus, you will get a message like this, and you need to pass the script name along with one argument. Either it may be start or stop. So if you want to start, then use the start command. Now it was Tomcat is started, so that means web server started. So in that web server there is a web apps directory. If you come out from the bin directory, there will be the called web apps directory. So in this web apps directory the TeamCity files are placed, right? So for that you are able to access the TeamCity server by defaultly. And if you want to check whether this service is running perfectly or not, you can use the grep command, ps-ef grep java. So the process already begins. So this is the lot of stuff you can analyze it, and as well as the Tomcat is running on which port. So particular this web service using which port to know, then you need to use the netstat-anp grep java. So this is the command to get the list of port numbers that are used by the specified service. Here I got the port number 8111. So this is the default port of the TeamCity to run that web service, right? So I am going to check whether this running or not. I am going to pass my operating system IP. So you need to pass the http://192.168.89.128. This is the remote host IP address, and then along with that colon use the port number of that particular service. So this is the Linux TeamCity port number along with us. So if you started the first time, automatically it will give the TeamCity first start. If you click on the proceed button, it will ask for the database connection setup. So in this database connection setup, you can configure the MySQL or Oracle MS SQL Server, PostgreSQL Server. But there will be a TeamCity will have the internal database that is called HSQLDB. This is the by default. You can use the internal database only. If you want to use, if you are having a V databases, then you need to go for there. So if it is the first start, then it will take the some few seconds or few minutes to initialize all the components which are needed by the TeamCity server. So after initializing these components, it will ask for the license agreement. Then click on the accept. Then continue. Then create a administrator account. So if you are the administrator, you need to have the administrator account. So first of all, you need to provide the username, administrator username. So I am going to use administrator name as admin. Next, use the password. Then re-enter the password. Then create account. So you can log in the direct as a super user. So for creating the administrator account, it will take few seconds. So when you come to the home page, this will be your general settings. Here your username is admin and you can configure the name and remaining settings like mail address and whatever the things you need to have here, you can enter it and click on the save changes. Then you can able to save it for its future reference. Now you can, if you want to from here if you want to log out from here, then you can click on the logout section and it will be going to log out. So and as well as if you want to log in, then you can use the username and password again to log in into the TeamCity server. If you log in once, automatically by default the home page will be this one to your user account. And now where you will get the sections of projects. The projects whatever you configured in the previous, that will be displayed here, and the changes that are affected into the code, then that will be shown here. The build agents and build queues that are available to in the next time builds. And then if it is the first time, then you will have it will ask for the create a project, and if you can directly create the project here itself, or you can create the project from import URL, so it will import the project settings from somewhere else. And as well as if you can have if you click on the username, then automatically the general settings page will be available for you. It is taking more time. Because I think my server is getting low memory. So here you can configure your username and mail addresses and password, confirm password and instant notifiers and plugins and whatever the UI settings and version control usernames and settings. So basically whatever you are configured here, that can be saved by clicking on the save changes. Then you need to log out again, and if you want to stop the server, then you need to use the list command and then use the startup script to team server.sh.stop. Then it is going to be stop your TeamCity server. If you after stopping the server, so the server was stopped, and you will get some notification, right? You are using JRE home, so that is going to be used from the JDK only. Okay, right? So I have stopped the server, and if you are able to click on here, the web page is not available. That means the web server is already stopped and the team server. So if you stop the TeamCity server, automatically internally it stop the web server, right? So everything is stopped. So this is the installation of TeamCity server and stopping the TeamCity server by using the scripts TeamCity server.sh. And in the next tutorial, I am going to create a project and how to create the project and how to configure the builds. So everything stuff.